The UK government can honestly feel a bit like a giant puzzle sometimes, right? Well, today, we're stripping away all the jargon and looking under the hood of British power. We're going to check out the actual engine that keeps the country running in this explainer.
Think about this. Every single day, huge decisions are made that directly impact your taxes, your local schools, your healthcare, and even the price of your energy bills. But who's actually making those calls? Is it the king, the prime minister, parliament? Let's break down exactly who really holds the reins.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, who runs Britain? Then, Parliament and the monarch. Next up, the Prime Minister and Cabinet. After that, elections and constituencies. And finally, why UK politics actually matters. Let's jump right into part one, who runs Britain? So the United Kingdom is actually made up of 4 distinct nations: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. But here's the thing, power isn't perfectly symmetrical across them. Thanks to a process called devolution, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland actually have their own separate parliaments or assemblies. They have the power to make local laws on everyday things like health and education. Meanwhile, the central UK Parliament, over in London, handles nationwide issues like defense and also steps in to make decisions specifically for England. You'll often hear the UK described as a constitutional monarchy and parliamentary democracy. I know, it sounds like a total mouthful, but all it really means is that Britain balances having a traditional monarch as the head of state with a democratic system where elected politicians are the ones actually running the government. Which brings us to section 2, Parliament and the monarch. Now, looking from the outside, it's super easy to assume the monarch is just controlling British politics. But in reality, their role is mostly ceremonial. They handle things like formally appointing the prime minister or officially signing off on new laws, and they absolutely must remain completely politically neutral while doing it. The actual political power, debating laws and running the day-to-day of the country, that lies firmly with Parliament and the government. Parliament is absolutely the center of British democracy. Here's how it works in practice. First, the public elects members of Parliament, or MPs, to the House of Commons. This is where your local issues actually reach the national stage. Citizens can bring their concerns directly to their MPs through local meetings, called surgeries, or just by writing letters. Those MPs then carry those issues straight to London to debate new laws. After that, the legislation moves over to the House of Lords, who are mostly appointed, for review and tweaks. And the final step, the monarch gives it formal royal assent. Moving on to section 3, the Prime Minister and Cabinet. So the Prime Minister is the leader of the government. Usually, this is the person heading the political party that secured the most seats in the House of Commons. They get to appoint ministers to oversee different areas, and together they form the cabinet. Their main job is to propose laws and put policies into action. But there is a massive catch here. They absolutely must maintain the confidence of Parliament. If they lose that core support, the government can literally collapse. And we have to talk about these government departments because they have profound control over your daily life. Take the Treasury, for example. They aren't just managing the abstract economy in the background. They literally set the budgets that fund public services, decide the exact amount of taxes taken right out of your paycheck, and shape the policies that dictate your winter energy bills. Along with the Home Office handling national security and the Department of Health overseeing your local hospitals, the decisions made in these offices ripple into every single community. Let's look at how these people get their jobs in Section 4, Elections and Constituencies. To actually form a government, the UK holds general elections, usually every 5 years. They use a voting system called first past the post. Essentially, the country gets divided up into local areas called constituencies, and each one elects exactly one MP. But here's the crucial detail. The candidate with the most votes wins the seat outright. So someone could win with just 40% of the vote, meaning they don't even need an absolute majority to win the whole thing. Because of that exact math, this voting system is fiercely debated. On one hand, critics argue that first past the post can produce highly disproportionate results on a national scale. But on the other hand, its supporters firmly believe it's great because it creates stable governments and maintains a really crucial direct link between individual MPs and their specific local communities. At the end of the day, major political parties are competing vigorously to win these seats. But what they're really doing is presenting voters with fundamentally different visions for the country's future, totally competing ideas on how society should be organized. Governments are going to rise and fall, but ultimately, it's always the citizens who step up and decide which vision wins out. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, Why UK Politics Matters.
Look, politics is often seen as something super distant, just a bunch of people shouting in a historic building, right? But its impact is incredibly personal. The political decisions made in Westminster directly dictate the quality of your local schools, the funding of your healthcare, the ease of your morning commute, and even your housing options. Your participation shapes the very policies that touch literally every single aspect of your daily life.
There's a great saying, democracy works best when people understand it. Understanding how this whole engine works actually gives you the power to participate effectively. The UK's political system isn't just frozen in time, it's constantly evolving, and its future depends entirely on the choices made by ordinary citizens choosing to engage with the process.
So we've covered the monarchy, parliament, the government, and the ballot box today, but there is always way more to unpack. What specific aspect of UK politics do you want us to decode next? Think about the government decisions that are impacting you the most right now. And whatever you do, never stop questioning how your country is actually